Buckets, buckets, buckets. We love them so much in Arena, we made an entire video talking about it. Surprisingly, the bucket system is actually leaving Arena in the distant future for a season. We're not sure if this is going to be permanent, but here's our analysis on the pros and cons of this change. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to the Tempo Storm YouTube channel to keep up to date with our Hearthstone content. Now let's begin. If you haven't watched any of our videos, here's the quick rundown of the bucket system. Since March 2018, cards are grouped into buckets based on their power level. For example, Flame Strike is in the same bucket as Fireball and Polymorph. You will never have to choose between Flame Strike and Wisp because they belong in completely different buckets. For more details on this system, check out our previous video for more information. Now, Ixar had commented that the system is going to leave Arena for a season. We do not know the exact date, but it will fundamentally shake up Arena. This means Arena will effectively have one giant bucket where any card could be matched with another. So what is the problem with this older system? If every card is random, you will often have one clear superior choice over the other cards. This happens for two reasons. One, there are way more bad cards than premium ones. The worst bucket right now has well over 100 cards, while the top bucket might only have 5 to 10 cards. Secondly, it is a lot more difficult to go for synergy with a huge pool of cards. This means it's almost always correct to simply pick the strongest card in the older system. This will significantly reduce player agency during drafting. While you might not want the 4th Flame Strike, the alternative could be taking a Leopard Gnome, which is way worse. With the bucket system, many choices are difficult to make due to the similar power level of cards. This rewarded players who are adaptive in deck building and knowledge of the meta. For example, Kidnapper was not as good in the last meta with mechs, but was brilliant in a slower meta such as our current expansion. Another example would be having to decide between a premium curve card over a strong swing card. Other than player agency, deck quality will be lower on average. This is because there are way more bad cards in the pool than premium cards. For every Meteor, there are 3 Murloc Tiny Fins. For the experienced players, our decks will be even less equipped to deal with high-rolled decks. These are the decks that manage to have 3 Flame Strikes and make it to high wins primarily from deck quality. Part of the reason we supported the bucket system was exactly this. It made the average deck more powerful and rewarded your ability to pick the best card for your deck. These 2 points are the biggest problems with a random Arena system. So what are the benefits of removing it then? With our current system, the meta feels stale a lot quicker. This is because the cards are often misbucketed, so you either saw them all the time or rarely at all. Rise of Shadows had a lot of cards that reflected this. As a result, we saw a lot of Walking Fountains, Evil Miscreants, Evil Geniuses, Messenger Ravens, and Eccentric Scribes. The meta essentially revolved around identifying misbucketed cards and drafting decks around these cards. This made the meta feel very repetitive. It also felt like we were only playing with half of the cards rather than all of them. Keep in mind the bucket system was introduced over a year ago. If cards will always be misbucketed, there is no point keeping a system that is imperfect. Another factor that affects staleness are the smaller top buckets. Druid, for example, saw Acorn Bear compared with Mech Warper and Power of the Wild all the time. This is because common cards appeared predominantly during drafts, and Druid only had 3 common cards at the top. Without buckets, you will rarely see the same identical 3 picks. This is a huge boon if we are going back to random picks. While most picks will be straightforward, you will face some interesting choices that is otherwise impossible with buckets. Perhaps you need the Sea Giant over the Elder Peacekeeper, or how about deciding between Dragon Maw Scorcher and Dino Size? The other major advantage to removing buckets is better maintenance. Currently, Blizzard has to rebucket first to fix egregious misbuckets. Then, another week goes by before Blizzard balances out the classes through micro adjustments. During Rise of Shadows, Rogue was a huge problem for 2 weeks, and the same trend is happening now. No matter what kind of a player you are, class balance will typically enhance your Arena experience. The faster we get it, the better. In summary, it's unfortunate that the bucket system will be leaving. Blizzard did not explicitly state it will be gone for good, but it is clear they're testing a different system. It is also clear that the current meta is not working as well as it could be. Drafting is quite stale due to repetitive choices and under-bucketed cards. If Blizzard cannot sustain the bucket system, it is ultimately the correct decision to try something else. Our Arena expert Tachi suggests a middle ground. Instead of a singular gigantic bucket or 7 different buckets, you can aim for 3 big buckets and 2 overlapping buckets, which have cards from 2 buckets. This means you will see less repetition between choices, and misbucketed cards will have a less significant impact. At the same time, you will still have to face tough decisions during drafting. Wisp will never face against Flame Strike, and overbucketed cards such as Dino Size will see more play. There will also be less maintenance needed. What do you think about the changes? Did you enjoy buckets as much as we did? Leave your comments below. As always, like and subscribe to see more quality Hearthstone content. See you all next time!